Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com, and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing. Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza DoNisi. Pizza DoNisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the Ultimate Underground Metal Tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza DoNisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza DoNisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years in keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They are open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my pyre. Oh, this is the Metal Forge. 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 With crimson coals,
What's going on, Metalheads? Thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. Hey, and this week we have Quinn Lukas from Icarus Witch joining us here in the Metal Forge. We actually got together Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. It was super rad. We were just hanging out. Cool ass conversations were had. Because of holiday schedules, it's like trying to get people around this time of year. It is kind of hard, and I'm finally, here, Jason is here with me. And speaking of like not being able to get anybody, this is like the first time we've actually had like a video chat in like a week and a half.
It's been a little while, yeah.
Yeah, and we're both still as ugly as ever, which is awesome, in that cool, awesome metalhead kind of way. But dude, what's going on? How was your Thanksgiving?
I was good. Like I said, I just, I don't know, I suffered from some severe stomach pain afterwards. Must have had some too much fat and macaroni and cheese or something. I don't know why. Too much butter.
That's because you didn't have the Metal Forge mac and cheese.
Well, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I ate too much and I suffered for it, but I'd do it again in a heartbeat if I could.
Yeah, that is the thing about Thanksgiving. It is very gluttonous, very fun sometimes.
Yeah, I've been kind of keeping to like a kind of a leaner diet. So like when I introduce all that, fat and just all kinds of stuff back into my diet, it really wrecked me. But I didn't stop. Like a true champion, I just kept eating until I couldn't anymore.
Right.
That's what you do.
Yeah, you had texted me later that day, and you're like, "Oh, I feel terrible."
Yeah, that's rough.
Well, see, I know exactly what you're saying there because being diabetic myself, I really got to be careful. Because the potatoes are great at Thanksgiving. There's something magical about holiday food like that. It tastes better for some reason.
Of course.
Than, making mashed potatoes in summertime or anything like that. Obviously the desserts, the stuffing, dressing, what is it to you?
The
Stuffing. We had that conversation, right?
I don't really know where dressing comes from, to be honest with you. It's kind of weird. Like it's like dressing is like
oyster.
Like
when it's made with oysters, it's called oyster dressing. So
I just call it. Actually, I don't even call it stove. I just call it stovetop because that's the only kind I buy.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, for sure. Here we're getting off in the food tangent, which is awesome because we've been talking about this, and I'm starting to live by this thing of. We've been talking about doing a lot of things. Let's just put it that way. So please, if you would please, this is where I'm gonna rattle the change can out there and say, make some of these things a reality. There is a limited tape label that we're contemplating on starting. There is a Metal Forge cookbook we were talking about starting.
Yeah, man. The tape label will happen. We just gotta get that first one done and use the money to start paying for the rest of them. The cookbook you can self-publish on Amazon, so it's really not even that big a deal.
No, absolutely. But you don't want to just
publish it right.
Exactly. But
format it right.
You want to do it the right way. You want to do it all the right way, and it's like that's my goals for 2024 is to get, I have a lot of goals for 2024. New Overload music is coming out. A couple of new shows coming out. New Flamekeeper stuff next year that I've got ideas for. Ice House stuff next year. Fucking new Metal Forge releases. Oh shit, like FKR, Metal Forge cookbook. All of this stuff I have these grandiose plans for, and I want you all to enjoy it, and I want you to share. And then Fuck yeah, because it's all about the community, the metal community. Jason, what is on your mind, man? You haven't done a Wasteland for a while. We've been doing some kind of these like little co-host segments here and there, but seriously, let's do a Wasteland. So here, I'm gonna fade in this music to the Wasteland and go.
Well, real quick, I try to do some tours and concerts of notable size for the first Metal Forge of the month. So I got a few. These are all local ones, so no tours I know of. However, announced today, and I will be going because it's on a Saturday on 4/20 next year. Blind Guardian with friends of the show Night Demon going on U.S. tour. So that's a big one. Unfortunately, the venue that they're playing at is a Live Nation venue, so I'm not thrilled about that. But when's the next time I'm going to get to see Blind Guardian in the U.S.? Probably, if ever, 2 more times, maybe. Maybe. So this is the one. I'm going to it, and I'm pretty excited. So, so there's that. But I got the local ones here. So our friend Josh from Grasping Air has one more show this year at Fleetwood's. It is a Bone Dozer, Flying Too Close to the Sun, and Fire Nest. That will be this Saturday, December 2nd. If you're in the area or want to see any of these bands, they'll be playing in Fleetwood's. Also, the Warren Haynes Christmas Jam featuring Slash and Miles Kennedy, Billy Gibbons, Government Mule, Clutch, Jason Bonham, and some other people I don't even know about, playing the next Saturday, December 9th, here in Asheville. So that's really a pretty good one. I got old man balcony seats for that one, so I can yell at the performers like the dudes from the Muppets if I need to, which is always a good thing. And then one more show that I know of, confirmed, December 16th at a new venue called Eulogy, which I'm pretty excited about. The band Basque is playing there, and that'll be the first time I get to go to that venue, check it out. Hopefully it's cool, and hopefully we'll be playing there next year. And then not confirmed, but TW might have one more show this month, but I don't know yet because it's not been confirmed. So there you go. That's my local concert rundown, because there's not really many tours happening in December.
Absolutely, man.
So
I am going to go ahead and give mine out too. There's a fuck ton of stuff going on in Louisville tomorrow, December the 2nd. So fucking, I would really like it if, everybody could share the wealth like we've done so much in the past. But the Krampus Fest at Art Sanctuary, I love that show and the people who put it on, and I love Art Sanctuary, so please go to that. I am also promoting the last Metal Forge concert of the year at Magbar with the return of Friends of the Metal Forge, The Hell You Say, Kiarn, and Those Who Speak Evil, which is Metal on a Budget's guitar player Justin White. They're playing that show, which will be fucking awesome, and that is a 8 o'clock door, 9 o'clock music, bands 9, 10, 11, fucking $10 at the door, kick-ass metal every day on that shit. And there's quite a few other shows that I see going on too. So fuck yeah, man. That fucking Night Demon though, that fucking, I saw that and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, this will actually be the first Night Demon show that I didn't open for him to go see. I've never seen him besides playing with him, so that should be fun. Like on a bigger stage.
You never know, there might be local support added.
Probably not. I don't know if like regional bands are really gonna get to open for Blind Guardian, because it'll be so militant as far as like start time, setting up, sound checks, people backstage, stuff like that. So plus they're coming from overseas, so like the whole COVID thing, they probably don't want people like in the outside the camp like coming in, because that's how you how you could have an accidental outbreak, stuff like that. So yeah, I think it'll just be Night Demon opening every single night. It'll be honest.
Which will be rad as fuck, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited. Because, you know, if you go see Night Demon, even if they have like a 35-minute set, you can still catch like 14 songs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, and I haven't seen anything from Outsider. So they could play the whole album actually, and a few other ones. And
dude, that is honestly on. And I want to go ahead and get this ball rolling now. The last Metal Forge of 2023 is the last Friday of 2023.
Right.
And it is, I believe, the 30th. Is that right?
I don't know right offhand.
I believe it's the 30th of.
Well, Christmas is the 25th, is a Monday, so go 7 days. New Year's Day would be a Monday, so it'd be Sunday. So yeah, actually be 29th, I believe.
Whatever day. We'll get to it. It's about a month away. So I am going to promote this now, and it will be myself, Jason Gardner from the Heavy Metal Wasteland and the Alehorn, Aaron Ossont from Ossont Battery, and Justin White from Metal on a Budget. And we are all going to give our top 2 albums. Just two.
Oh, dude, come on, man. We gotta do more. We gotta do at least 5.
Top 5 only.
All right, there you go.
Top 5 only. Bang.
Yeah. That's 20 albums. I mean, we could do that in about an hour and 15.
Yeah. We might have to do this as a crossover episode where it's on Ossont Battery, the Metal Forge, the Mudhorn, and the Alehorn, and Metal on a Budget.
There you go.
Yeah. We might have to do a big end-of-year crossover episode now. Fucking,
good.
I love that idea.
Marvel.
That's great shit. And so I want to go back to an old school fucking song here from Icarus Witch. We're going to listen to something off of Songs for the Lost, all the way back in like 2007.
Damn.
Yeah, we're going way old on these.
That's when we started. So yeah.
Right? Same here. This is Written in the Stars.
The sun's eyes, telling what is to be, how the heavens shine, lighting the way. The zodiac
What's up, metalheads? This week, I'm going to go ahead and everybody knows this is a pre-recorded deal, so this is the night before Thanksgiving we're recording this, but it's going to be after Thanksgiving when it's released, so we're probably going to talk turkey here a little bit, no pun intended, but yeah. With Quinn Lukas from Icarus Witch. Dude, what is up?
What's happening, man?
Dude,
how you doing?
You see it. I'm chilling out here. It's I always remember being a kid and like my friends telling me after we came back to school how they got to watch Survivor Series on Wednesday night with the wrestling stuff, and like I miss days like that where you could go home and watch wrestling on a Wednesday night pay-per-view with family and your uncle's there like kick his ass, just shit like that, dude. Like,
right?
I mean,
yeah.
It's like that. It's that early '90s wholesome thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a family holiday unless shit gets wrecked somewhere, right?
Right. Yes, exactly. And whether it be, I don't know, man. No, seriously, all of that shit aside, dude. What's up? How are you?
Doing well, man. Doing well. We just released a new album. Had the release party the beginning of this month, beginning of November, and man, the response has been awesome. And I can't be happier with not only the finished product but people's reactions to it, and things are good, man. Things are real good.
Right. I mean, yeah. No Devil Lived On. Like I said in my write-up, it's like, to me, it was the deal of, okay, I see what everybody else is saying, and everybody, wow, it's so fucking awesome, blah, blah, blah. It's like, gosh, man, it's like, how can you change and make somebody actually listen to something, And that's why I said, what,
yeah.
If everybody already hears what good songs there are and everything else, but like, take the audio part of it, just the mix, the master, just the image of it, because I always feel like there's three types of bands, and we're already going to get deep and philosophical here in the first 5 minutes. I always feel like there's three types of bands, man. And there's bands that you listen to, there's bands that you watch, and there's bands that envelop your core being. And it's an experience. Okay. And, listening to this, I got lost in it because it was a one thing. I always set out to listen to an album first sitting. I always try to make the time to devote a full on listen. I don't want to listen to like 2 songs and then 2 songs and then 2, I want to listen to the entirety. Just to be able to form an opinion and say, okay, this is what I like. So when you all write, and my question is this, because I'm kind of going long in my explanation here. When you all write, do you write like that, thinking of how you want to hear it or what you want to hear, or what is it?
That's a pretty good question. I think a lot of the times, and this is like goes back to the history of the band. Especially whenever, Jason and I started writing together, it was always about fuck trends, right? Like not thinking about what's going on, because we were doing this back when traditional metal was not fucking popular whatsoever.
Right.
Like it was the death of it. Like it was the polar opposite. There was only a handful of bands really doing it, across the states anyway.
For sure. No, and I can relate to that because I was doing a thrash band in that same time period when you had later era thrash bands like a Municipal Waste that could still do something, but like for the most part, yeah. No, so continue. I totally relate to that.
So we've always been of the mindset to write the shit that we want to listen to. Like as a fan, because I mean, honestly, we're fans first. You know,
Right.
that's why we got into this, because we love metal, you know. And I think that if you remember that, like, especially, I mean, shit, it's going on, oh my God, like 20 years, you know, that Jason and I have been doing this. If you keep that like your core being, it's going to keep you honest, you know? And so I think you write shit that you want to hear. And that's just kind of my working motto. Like,
Right.
If a band that I love isn't producing something that I want to hear, but I've been influenced by that band, then I'm gonna fucking write my version of what I want to hear, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's what we all try to do. And, you know, just as much, here's the cool thing to me in that regard. As you just said, if the band that you've influenced is not checking the box for you, but you can check that box and write what you want to hear. Yeah. Because I think that's ultimately what they did. You know, the Iron Maidens and those bands.
Yeah, exactly. You can't tell me that, you know, you can't tell me that, you know, Judas Priest wasn't going back and saying like, oh man, how would these guys do it? How would, you know, it's a natural form of course, I think, as a musician, you know, or even as an artist, whether you paint or you play a guitar, you know,
yeah,
it's like
you know, how would so-and-so do it?
You love.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, I think that's funny that you mentioned that, because there's certain instances that, you know, me being like a stringed instrument musician, a guitar player, bass player, whatever, that, you know, when you hear certain overlapping things in songs that are from two different bands, but are in like the same genre and era of each other, it's cool. Like, for example, Steal Away the Night has a riff in it that is totally in like Hellion Electric Eye.
Yeah, it has that kind of bouncy back and forth, like stacked fourth thing.
Yeah, exactly. See, you went immediately to it. You know, you knew exactly it. And just as much as Curse of the Pharaohs is fucking 2 minutes to midnight, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. Dude, we're like symbiotic here.
Yeah, exactly. And I dig that, because is it like bros, you know, poking fun at each other and being like, oh yeah, I can do it too, and I can do it better, and just like joshing on each other, you know? That's what I think is funny. If you listen to like half of, well, all of like even Too Fast for Love or Shout at the Devil, it's like, dude, it's sweet songs all day long and those types of riffs, but like played the way Mick does it and made it more rock and roll, you know? It's like, yeah, that's, you know, that's old school glam rock at its finest, you know? Oh, for sure. Yeah. And
funny shit.
And so anyway, as we were talking a minute ago about how that affects the album and such, so you all are celebrating a 20-year anniversary of Icarus Witch this year too.
Yeah, coming up, man. Which is crazy to think about,
because
you know,
because the Metal Archives have y'all listed as 2003.
Yeah,
is formation. So
yep.
That's a pretty heavy feat. I think you know, Midnight just celebrated a 20-year anniversary too.
Yeah,
fuck, man.
I mean, those guys. Yeah, dude. Those guys. And I got to give it up to them because they've been grinding it, man, and they're crushing it.
Oh, always. Right? I mean,
It's
what they got to do. I mean, I don't think they know any different or better.
and I don't think any of us would want them any different. You know?
No, God no. Just as much as you all. You know, nobody wants you all any different either. But seriously though, that's 20 years, man. I mean, when it comes down to doing an album that's, you know, another album at this point, I mean, how does that feel for you all? Because like I say, I've got quite a few out myself, but we haven't done a full length in a while. We've just been doing the EP thing. But like, here it is, you know, this is 20 years culminating to this album. I mean,
okay. I mean, I guess the best way to sum that up or try to paraphrase it is as best as possible. No matter what, we always try to, it's not about outdoing, you know, another band or competing or, like I said, trends. It's about trying to outdo ourselves. As it should be. And try to do things that we've never done before.
Okay.
And every Icarus Witch album is very different from the previous one. Going way back to the EP. You know, the EP was very kind of neoclassical driven trad metal. And then Capture the Magic took a little twist on that and had more of a kind of, I don't know, almost Scorpions vibe to it. And then Songs for the Lost definitely had more of a progressive vibe to it. And then Draw Down the Moon, like stripped back and had almost a rocky Badlands kind of vibe to it, and so on and so forth. With this one, like Jason and I were sitting around, like maybe only like 2 or 3 songs in, saying, hey, why don't we do a concept album? Never done that before. Okay, sweet. Let's talk about concepts. Like, looked at all the song ideas that we had kind of seeded and went from there. And it was just, again, you just compete with yourself going like, can we do this? Can you know, and it makes you work harder.
Right.
It makes
because
you
give yourself a goal. And you give yourself something you want to attain, and why not?
Yeah, exactly. It's like at this point we have nothing to lose by just making another, you know, we don't want to make another, you know, whatever, Goodbye Cruel World or another Rise or another Capture the Magic. If it happens to sound that way, so be it, but we're not trying. We're never trying to do it. You know?
You let it stand on its own for what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, like, I always try to, it's got to be interesting for me.
Right.
You know? Because if it's not, and it's like, why am I doing this? Like, if I'm not having fun and it's not interesting, I've been doing it long enough. I don't need to be doing it anymore.
Right.
You know?
So by that rationale, are there songs that you don't play now because of that? Like you've lost, it's either lost like the magic or the specialness to it, that you have no desire to play it?
There's tunes that we will obviously, like, even whenever you write them, you're like, oh, this is probably never going to make its way into the live set. You know, because either it's like, yeah, it's too slow or whatever. But there are definitely songs in my mind anyway. The other guys may feel completely different, but
that's so interesting that you say that, because coming from my perspective, I am always trying to write songs on the album or EP that the possibility that is that they can always be played live.
Yeah, and for the longest time, whenever I first got in Icarus Witch, it became, which was back in 2004 or 5, so it'll be 19 years for me in the band. Whenever I first got in and started contributing material right away, it quickly became like, oh, Quinn writes the bangers, like the live tunes, because you know, I'm a guitar player. It's like, this is what I want to do. I want to be Randy Rhoads. Come on, man.
Right.
I want to rock out. So like songs like, you know, Black Candles and stuff like that are staples of our live set. And then I, you know, me and Jason really gelled over our love of like early Fates Warning and early Queensryche and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, here's a really cool, awesome, weird idea. I don't know if it's going to work live. Why not? But even our last album, Goodbye Cruel World, I don't think we'll ever play like Anti-Venom live. I would love to, but I don't think we will.
Well, yeah, because some things logistically are hard to do. You know, whether it be extra guitar tracks in the studio or certain sounds that, you know, are a staple and it might sound odd without it live, you know? Like, yeah, I totally get that. Because...
So, I think...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, it's like... Even on this new album, we are going to play the whole thing front to back, because I think whenever you do a concept, you need to present it live that way,
agree.
at least for a run of shows, right?
Yeah, like a special occasion, and then then you can do your medleys and stuff, I believe. Yeah,
exactly. It's like, so I think out of the gate we're gonna do the album front to back, and then a couple favorites, and see you later. Next time, you know, and then next time we'll just mix it up and pick some choice songs. But that's the other thing that I really love about being in a band is cultivating the set, right?
Right.
You know,
I think that's our reward for, you know, for doing the hard work of writing so many songs, you know, because yeah, you can draw from 20 years worth of music at this point. And it's just like, hey, we could go out and do a classic set, you know, where it's all stuff from 2005 and 7.
Yeah.
Or,
I think
go ahead.
Yeah, what's funny is like a lot of times in Europe, they'll, you know, festivals might request like, hey, can you do a classic set, or can you do selections from this album or whatever? And I get the biggest kick out of it because it is stuff that we haven't played in years,
right?
Which is cool. You know, it's rad. I think it's awesome. I'm always up for a challenge. Whether that be like, oh my God, you know, like I got to relearn a song that's 15 years old. I haven't played it since we recorded.
Well, you know, I think that's funny as hell because like when the Stones got back together for like the tour that they did in like 2004 or whatever it was. Yeah. It was the first time they had been together since like the, what was that? What was the some fucking Voodoo Lounge or something, whatever the album was in the 90s that they had came out with.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what it was, and I'm too lazy to look it up. But they were talking about how they had to have the albums backstage so they could listen to the songs. Say they were going to be like, we were going to put this and this and this and this in the set, and they kept listening through other stuff. It's like, holy shit, we did that? Let's play that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy fuck, man. It's like that they had released so many songs and albums and shit that they couldn't even remember shit to.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's funny because we'll hear something, we'll listen to, you know, whether it'll be, you know, vanning it down to Baltimore or something like that. It'll be in Andrew's van or something, and he has a completely different, he has all the songs uploaded on his playlist. So we'll hear a song like, holy shit, that was us. That's pretty awesome. You know?
Wait a minute, what was that from? No.
Yeah, it's like, I'll look at Jason, I'll be like, I like that song.
Has that ever happened though, where you have heard something and you're like, and you all go in for sound check and you play through, you like, it starts this little like earworm and you play through it, and then like by the end 100%. Of the, like you're doing like a 4-day thing, and like by the last show it's in the set.
Yeah, 100%. It's happened with our own material. It's happened on tour with covers.
That's even better.
Yeah, we did like a 35 or 36 date tour with Y&T, and like the first week we would sound check, and I'd always start playing. I'm trying to think of which one I started playing then. It was one of the maiden tunes we did with Paul Diano, and by the end of the set, it was Running Free. It was in the set like all the time. And then one of the Diano tours during the Icarus Witch set, I would always sound check with Say What You Will. By the end of the tour, we were doing Say What You Will in our set.
Nice.
Like, it's like, fuck it, let's play some Fast Way, man.
Well, why not? You know, I mean, I get it because it's like, okay, you know, there's still a license that has to be paid for that, and you know,
but it's so much fun to me to be able to let loose and like just even that little nugget of like, hey, this wasn't planned.
What's the craziest one that you've ever done though?
Oh man, I don't know, man. We would do some weird ones. Like Paul would always want to play like with Diano. He would always want to do punk covers or like an AC/DC cover,
right?
So we'd rip into something. As far as I remember, the first time, it was one of my first gigs with Icarus Witch. We did and it was before we released our actual cover of it. We did the Ripper from Judas Priest. Nice. And not that it's a crazy song or anything. It's just that it went so fucking horribly awry.
Those are always the best. The Spinal Tap moments.
Yeah, and I just looked over to the side of the stage like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, what are we playing? Did you guys find a new version? Like, one of those things. But we always do like weird ones for us. So we always try to pick like, it'll either be like, oh, that's cool, they played that, or wow, wasn't expecting them to play that. Like we've done like Too Young to Fall in Love live before, nice. Which is like just kind of off the wall in the middle of a trad metal set. You just start playing some old school Crew,
right?
It's just, it's we're always game for whatever, man. So we always try to keep it like interesting, cool, deep cuts and shit like that.
Yeah, for real. Because, hey, dude, like deep cuts are the best. Like, I still think one of my favorite fucking like deep cut Priest songs is Take On All the World.
Oh, dude, nice.
It's like that fucking anthem. I want to play it at the like how fucking how Maiden plays Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. I want to fucking play Take On All the World by Priest after our set. Just because it's such a fucking big sing-along song. And fucking
exactly.
It's like, yeah.
I think now my mindset is like, I don't know, maybe we're going to add like Headhunter from Crocus to the list or something like that. Like,
Nice. Fucking, oh, yes. It's got to be something like that. It's got to be something that you could go into any flea market in America and find the album. So yes. Crocus would fit well with that because I think you could find any Crocus album in the flea market. You could probably almost do that with Annihilator also.
Yeah, I mean, like we used to scour truck stops to find the $5 Bob Seger CD for the van. It's like, oh, maybe we're gonna find the Siegs tonight. Yeah,
and honestly, this is one of my most recent purchases.
Oh, nice!
One of these nights.
Oh yeah!
And I mean, I've got it on vinyl already, of course, but like I didn't have a CD copy, so it's like I gotta get it. And I was talking with Jeff Becerra from fucking Possessed, and we were talking about how Take It to the Limit is a 4.5 minute song. And the outro is like almost 2 minutes. And it's just like, And then it's like, Overkill by Motorhead's the same way, and
yeah, exactly. The song's over, but they just rock it out for another 2 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. And and that's parts of the parts of the set that I think are always cool. So with the new album being concept, are there going to be certain aspects to stage show lending to this as well?
Yeah,
for the live shows.
I think the idea is to do a lot of the panel art.
Okay.
Because the whole thing with me even writing it is I wanted it to listen like you read a comic book. Right? Like you could visualize, you have the artwork to guide you through and kind of speak on a vision. Because usually we write very generalized lyrics, not meaning general like, oh yes, this is about driving a fast car or some bullshit like that. But meaning like the listener can like take on their own meaning to a lot of the songs throughout the career, our career.
I'm not going to lie about this.
It's a concept.
I'm not going to lie about this, but when you sit there and just said, I'm sorry to interrupt, was, well, there's some bullshit about driving a fast car. The first thing I thought of was Red Barchetta.
Oh. Well, I mean, that's not a bullshit song about a fast car, but
I was like,
you gotta give it up to the professor. I mean, he was one in a million, one in 3 million.
But no, some bullshit about driving a fast car, and I'm like, Red Barchetta?
I'm just talking about shit.
Speaking of concept albums,
yeah. So I mean, Rush aside,
literally,
like I think. Differently, like rather than leaving it open to interpretation, since we're trying to tell a story in the album, it had to musically line up with the lyrics, right? And then obviously provide some sort of visual with the album in the CD artwork and the panels to do that as well.
Okay.
So we want to incorporate that into the live set and kind of, I guess do the album justice visually as well as playing it,
Absolutely. And again, that relates back to what I had said earlier in the show about there's 3 types of bands, in my opinion. Bands you listen to, bands you see, and bands that fucking do the ones that fucking consume you. Your bands, like mine, one of mine is Motorhead, of course. Whatever they did, yes.
I got an awesome story after this for the Motorhead thing.
But like, yeah, and I think I very much agree on the Lemmy standard of like any 5 dudes can write an album, go out and put it on the road and do it. And I think that implies, you playing your music, you producing your music and showing people how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's where it's at. And so it's like any 5 dudes can stand on a stage, but any 5 dudes, 4 dudes, 6, 10, 3, however many, to fucking sit there and give them a show them what it's about, make people believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
But and whether or not that's visuals, I use fucking stage props. Here's there's one right there, the big crucified fucking skeleton. Yeah. But yeah, totally. So what's your Motorhead story?
So we were out for Gates of Metal a couple months ago in LA, and a couple of the boys never been to the Rainbow, so I was like, fuck, gotta go to the Rainbow, right?
Absolutely.
Let's go. So we're in the Lemmy Lounge, outside in the patio, sitting there having a couple drinks, and some just random guy walks in, like Tommy Bahama shirt, like completely out of place for the Lemmy Lounge or even the Rainbow for that matter.
Right.
But I will say, like, if you look it up on Yelp, like their pizza reviews are pretty banging because they got some killer food.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, he's looking around and we're all sitting there lining the bar, and he's like, "So who's this Lemmy guy?" And my buddy James just literally laughs in his face. He's like, and then he goes, "Oh, you're fucking serious, aren't you?" Like, holy shit! Like, what? Why are you here?
What
like,
the fuck?
Like,
Jesus.
and the whole time I'm like, thank God the bartender didn't hear that. Like,
No
your
shit.
ass to be out of here,
Throwing your ass out.
But no, man, it's just so funny that you know, it's become, you know, Lemmy's presence and now, you know, lack thereof has become such a driving force for people to make a homage to the Rainbow, to you know,
sure.
kind of, you know, walk in the footsteps of greatness, as I say.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. So the first time I was there, he was still alive, so none of that was. There was stuff there, but not like it is now.
Yeah.
And like they had the stuff outside in the patio and stuff. Like there was there used to be a snaggletooth that was in the concrete out front, and it's not there anymore. When they actually built the lounge, they moved it, or they took it out. But the cool thing about it was just like, you know, the last time I was there, which was the 50th anniversary shows that year, and it was just really cool because I had dinner there and that was the first time I had eaten there. Just a rad fucking time. Had surf and turf and fucking went all out.
Yep, I tell people they can do the best pizza and then you can get an awesome lobster tail.
Oh,
like one of the
yeah.
only places that I know that can do that.
Yep. And you know, and Mike Junior, you know, he actually just passed away here recently, so rest in peace to him. I hope
Absolutely.
I hope that it stays in the family with the Rainbow and the whiskey and everything. So because
we were just there, and I think from what I seen and talking to the staff, and there was staff from the whiskey there as well, having lunch, and I think it's going to be strong, man. I think they're going to keep it together. I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
Well, I would think that, you know, that somebody in the family would be able to take it over. I would think.
Yeah.
And of course, this is all speculation on my part, so don't look to me to be ace one here.
I just think it's two important landmarks, and especially just for one town, right?
Oh yeah.
You can't let
well,
that
I
go.
mean, not even
You can't
just
let
that, just that little like 2-block section, you know, where you've got the Roxy, the Rainbow, and the whiskey.
Yeah, you can't let that go, man. You can't let that become an office or a fucking apartment, or
No.
you know what I mean? Like, you
God, no. Fuck no.
Yeah,
definitely not.
Trust me, the strip does not need another store to buy a person. Like,
Right.
You know, we don't need stores there.
Right. No shit. Dude, there was a car dealership there that I didn't even realize was a car dealership because it was in like a really small fucking tiny ass building, but they had like Bentleys in there, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
You walk in, it's like the world's smallest garage. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, this is fucking insane. And it was like Bentley, and it's like they were all three like parked in the building, and I was like, how the fuck did you even get them in here?
Yep. That's awesome.
Dude, that place is like another planet sometimes.
It is, and I enjoy it, man. Like, it's, I miss it out there.
Right.
I miss it out there.
Oh yeah.
Every time I'm there, Every time I'm there, I'm like, okay, I got my stops. I know where I got to go. I know what I got to do. And you know, it's just cool about that's one of the cool things about being able to travel is you become. You find a kinship with cities, right? And you get like your little traditions, like, you know, whenever I'm in Nashville, I'm doing this place for breakfast no matter what. Like, if y'all want to come along, we're going. You know, if we're in Baltimore, like we're gonna go do this. If we're in California, like I know this guy and this guy's gonna go on a hike. I'm gonna go get drunk at the Rainbow, like, right? Those kind of things, you know. Like,
or you're at least going to pregame on the way to the Rainbow, to where you're not spending an assload of money at the Rainbow, because on some days it can get expensive.
Oh yeah, especially if it's a party atmosphere, man.
Yeah, the first time I was there, I actually met Jeff Hanneman there, which was cool.
That's yeah, we were there. It was Dave Lombardo's birthday party one night.
Holy shit, that's cool.
We were like, it was crazy. Like, he like they were like we just we're going to the Rainbow. And showed up, and we had played the Key Club was still open then. We played the Key Club the night before, and then we had like 3 days off, stayed right there, like right down the block from the Rainbow, and we were playing Santa Ana, like was the next day. It's like, well, the hell with it, we're staying right here. And we showed up, and it was Lombardo's birthday, and it's like, okay, this is our night. You know what I mean?
Shit. Hell yeah!
Yeah, it's man. Like here we are, doing shots with Eric Peterson. Like this is what happens.
That's cool. Fucking the last time I was there, fucking Frank Stallone was there.
Nice.
Yeah, and he was just hanging out.
I always see him at Norm's. Every time I go to Norm's Guitar. Yeah, he's always at Norm's.
No shit, dude. He's been in several videos, like just in the background, just walking through. And it's just like, that was Frank Stallone.
Yeah. Like you'll walk into Norm's Guitars and you'll see like Frank Stallone, and then you'll see the guys from Flight of the Conchords, like trying out acoustics and shit. And it's like, but this is the craziest place.
Right?
Like, this is crazy.
I've actually never been there, but I'd like to go.
Oh, you got to, especially if you're, as all guitar players are. I mean, we're just, love gear, right?
Yeah, like, we're all gearheads. Yeah,
we all have gas. We all have gear acquisition syndrome.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter. I mean, it could be a $200 knockoff beater piece of shit, or it could be a $2,000 fucking whatever.
Yeah, I got one of my favorite Les Pauls that I've ever played there, and just even that day, like, will spark these awesome memories in my mind. I'm like, oh man, I just picked up this Les Paul. It's like, this thing is incredible, but it was the one that stood out of 25 Les Pauls that I picked up because there's so many guitars.
What was so special about it?
It was the way it sounded before I even plugged it in. Like the way it sounded before I even plugged it in. And I'm a big, whenever I'm a big Les Paul fan. And
Same.
To me, you can tell the quality of a Les Paul, especially if it sounds great before you even plug it in, like just the strings coming off the body and the neck. Mm-hmm. The tone of that thing's going to be pretty impressive, no matter what pickups are in it. I'm just a big fan of how those guitars kind of do that. And literally out of like 20, 25 guitars that I picked up that day, this one just kind of like stung to me.
Yep.
And I was like, okay.
I can relate to that. I have a Legend 4 Spectre. And I tried out probably 20 or so basses that day. And the last place I went to, that they were about a half an hour from closing. And I was just like, and it was like one of the home shops, And I went in and I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick this one up. And I picked it up and there it was. And I was like, wow, that's it.
And whenever you know it's coming home, man.
And she's lived a hard life. She gets some wall rest now. And yep, she gets passed on to the Rick.
There you go, man. That's awesome.
So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Derailed here. Derailed is 5 random questions about anything, about you as a person.
Okay.
Do you have a system in place to keep yourself organized?
As far as writing or just life?
Interpret however you will.
Yeah, there's always a system of like checks and balances, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of how we learn to steer down whatever road we're going down. So I think as far as a musician, I think it's always going to be set to, if I'm listening back to something and I feel that I'm trying too hard, and I don't mean trying too hard as far as achieving the outcome, but like trying too hard to create something, I got to let it rest. I won't force it.
Absolutely.
So that, you know, I can't do that. I won't force a song. I won't force a riff. I won't force a vocal line. Cause that's, you know, something else, like on top of all of the guitar shit and riffs and things like that. I write a line share, if not most of the vocal lines.
Okay.
Well, so like a lot of the melodies, if they don't work, I'm not going to force it. I'm going to let it rest till something's going to come, you know?
Right. But I think too, with doing that is the idea of that if you force it, then it's going to become a chore to play.
Yeah.
You're not going to look as forward to playing it, and then it's going to be one of those songs that just falls along and becomes an album track.
Exactly. And as far as keeping like everything organized on that same front, I have what's called the riff cauldron, which is our, you know, enveloping, like, okay, all the ideas, and then like they all kind of go into that cauldron. And then I will pick ones out of the riff cauldron, and if I'm working on them, they get moved out of that into an album folder. And nice. Then I work out of the album folder. So that's kind of like my musical organization. If you look at my car, it will seem like I'm not organized at all because it looks completely just a mess on the inside.
But you know, exactly, I know exactly
how much gear. Yeah, I know exactly what's in it, how much gear I can throw in it at any given point, and how it's going to stack up at any given point.
And I just
I live life. Yeah, I live life by the Tetris mentality.
I'm just going to point this out, that Icarus Witch has the riff cauldron. Ha ha ha.
Yes.
Ha ha ha. It's like it's the riff stew.
Yeah, it's what we've called it for years.
I dig it. I dig it. I see what you did there.
Yeah. And what's funny is, like, there's songs off of this album, the riff has been in that cauldron for maybe 10 years.
Okay. No, and I totally get that.
Right moment.
Because, if it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad riff. It's just not where it needs to be.
Exactly. Or it's not the right vibe or key for it, even sometimes, you know, like
not I'll write a time for riff. It. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'll write a riff and then it'll be a completely different song 5 years later. And I'll be like, you know what? That that riff belongs in this key. Like, it should have never been written in A flat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or whatever. Like, it should be here.
I mean, you know, they needed a riff. I mean, look at Motorhead. Look at Ace of Spades. You know, Ace of Spades has been done at least 3 times in their career.
Yeah. And you know what? It's never wrong.
and no one is, and neither of them are wrong. Exactly. Question 2. Have you ever had a crush on a coworker?
No. Well, I mean, trying to think. I mean, me and Jason go back, way back. I mean, if I could have a crush on anybody, be my songwriting partner, right?
Yeah, right. No, I get that. I mean, that's a thing. I mean, because it's almost like the Sith, the rule of 2. You know, I kind of think that's the whole thing. Yeah. Even with like looking at other bands, like at like the next level or higher level bands, you know, say the Beatles, there was always, you know, John and Paul and shit like that. And with Kiss, it's always, you know, Gene and Paul, and, you know, so it's always like a 2 there. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, definitely got man crushes with like Jason. Me and Andrew have a man crush because we do so many projects together. I think that a lot of that probably deals with like, I never had like your usual high school job as far as like working at the mall or whatever, or with, you know, your high school compadres or anything like that. My first job while I was in like junior high and high school, I was a grave digger. So there was no one to have a crush on. Like, nah, wow. Just me and a shovel here.
What is the longest you've ever waited in line for something, and what was it?
Oh my God. Obvious.
I'm going to go ahead and bet. I'm going to bet it was either tickets for a show or it was fucking a Star Wars movie premiere or a Star Trek movie premiere.
Easily, hands down, was probably standing outside of Kaufman's for tickets. Hands down. Trying to think the longest line. Oh, man. It was probably, I bet it was the Black Album tour with Fight and trying to think. It was supposed to be Alice in Chains, but it was Fight and Suicidal that opened up. And then it was just a couple months ago at a fucking Walmart pickup order. Because shit took like an hour and a half. I was like, I could have fucking went in the store.
Wow.
But yeah, hands down, definitely fucking Kaufman's. Definitely Kaufman's for tickets.
That's awesome. Now, what is Kaufman's? Is it like a
Kaufman's used to be a Pittsburgh department store that was in all the malls.
So they were a Ticketmaster outlet.
Yes, they were a Ticketmaster outlet. So you had to wait in a line outside of the store. They would let you in, and you waited in another line to go to the ticket counter, and people would sleep for tickets. Especially for big shows like Civic Arena, like any of the arenas or the amphitheaters around Pittsburgh. You would basically spend either your day and or night there, or half of each. You know what I mean? Like whatever, depending on what band it was. But I think Metallica was probably the craziest line I've ever waited in, and I was really young then. That was my second Metallica show at that point, I think.
Yeah, man. See, that's crazy. Like, I kind of lucked out on a lot of my shows that I went to, like, early on like that. I either could, like, fucking call the Ticketmaster number and get them.
Yeah.
But no, there's times where I did go to, like, our stores were Kroger. that had the outlets in them, which is a grocery store. And
we have them in like kind of live in like the tri-state area, like Pittsburgh's in a kind of area where Ohio's right there, West Virginia's right there. So yeah, Kroger's completely
are all out through there. So they used to have the outlets in there, and I remember going, and I remember when they had their own video stores too.
Nice,
and that was wild.
That's crazy.
And that was wild because you went into the video store to get your tickets, and it was nuts, man. Like, and then
pick up that, and you can rent Faces of Death at the same time. That's pretty awesome.
See, that's the thing. They didn't have that shit. They only had like fucking like they had like a very limited R section. Fuck, they weren't gonna fucking carry any fucking like anything fucking crazy. Why do you think some people in relationships murder their partners instead of just asking for a divorce or leaving?
Number one answer, let's see. Family Feud. Number one answer for Quinn would be like, how many guitars do you own?
I'm gonna stab you if you buy another one, kind of thing.
Yeah. I would be, by the way, I would be the one getting killed. It's I don't know, man. That's a crazy question. I think it's information overload.
Yeah.
I think it's I think people don't spend enough time talking to other people in person rather than just like shutting themselves off and like getting on a device and talking to the rest of the world,
Right.
I think that, relationships are supposed to be personal. So like, if you're not spending that time personally, then I think some shit's got to be dealt with,
I agree.
So I would say that. That's probably the, you got to spend the time. You got to, like the Dunkin' Donut man said, it's time to make the donuts. Got to make the donuts, right?
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the whole idea is like you got to sit there and, you've got to have it's like you have a home work balance. You have to have a balance of everything, and yeah, it gets hard, but fucking, you got to really you got to put in the effort.
Yeah, man, it's work. Like relationships are a
labor of love. Oh,
exactly. Like, they are. That's as but they are like both,
cheesy dad joke before Thanksgiving.
Love it. love it. But yeah, it is work, and just like anything else, like if I would say like say you're a corporate board member. You put the work in to grow those relationships with the other board members, to steer a company in the right way, to make the right decisions. In a relationship, you have to do the same thing. You have another board member that you need to get with.
Yeah, and you need to incorporate in those decisions.
That way you can make the decisions to steer your relationship in the right way. And I think that's the key. And if you don't do that, it's going to fail.
Absolutely.
Or it's going to be really trying.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, Quinn, thank you so fucking much for coming in the Metal Forge this week.
Yeah,
as always, links are listed below, so please give a like, a share, and a follow. Go buy merch. Go see these dudes live. Support in any way you can. I say this every week, and I say it till I'm blue in the fucking face, and I seriously hope you all do that, because every band that comes on this show kicks fucking ass, and I believe in some way or another, I don't just I curate every fucking body who comes on the show, because it's what it's all about. It's all about, there's bands that I care about that I want to say, dudes, y'all need to listen to these guys. They're fucking awesome. That's really what it's about, is turning my friends on to bands of people who listen to the show. And
Right on.
And
that's
yeah,
what it should be.
And I love it, you know, and it's fun. So yeah, like I said, go get like, share, follow, do the social media thing, because that's what we do these days, right? Dude, do you have any shout outs you want to give to anybody today?
Absolutely. I'd love to give a shout out to, obviously, my bandmates. Can't do this shit without you guys. So pray, blessed be to all y'all witches. Also, I'd love to give a shout out to Trevor from Haunt. I'd love to give a shout out to Scott from High Spirits and Night. Kid Ekman, who is, if you're in a metal band and you don't know who Kid Ekman is, you're probably not playing enough shows, because Kit will travel to see metal anywhere. And just, hey, a shout out to y'all, man. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
spend time with the family, enjoy, watch some wrestling, let things get a little fucking crazy, right?
Fuck yes, dudes. Yeah, man. Sorry, I kind of got like sidetracked there for a second. I was thinking of something to say, and man, that's the worst thing to ever do live. Well, no, it's not, of course. That's not the worst thing. But when you're a singer and you're just like, what? Oh, shit. Wait, what?
I was going to say, I think tuning audibly is probably the worst.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst. That's the... No, tuning audibly is okay unless... Then it becomes worse when, like, someone announces it. This is the tuning song. Shit. Fuck that. I will quit a band if that happens.
Yes,
I will walk straight the fuck off stage if I am ever in a band that ever announces that this is the tuning song. That might be some petty shit, but it's almost as bad.
No, man, agreed.
It's almost as bad as fucking Skennerd. You know, do people do that shit up there in Pennsylvania?
There's a fine line between what you can tell is a seasoned musician and a not seasoned musician. The seasoned musicians will have the cord firmly tucked between the strap and the guitar, or the bass, as you will, and plugged in.
Right.
And they will not audibly tune. On the other side of that line, you have people fucking stepping on their cables, yanking them out all the goddamn time, and then also audibly fucking tuning, even if it's drop D. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, no one wants to hear that shit.
That's hard.
Once you have the drummer playing over you trying to tune.
Oh yeah, that's the best. That's the best. Dude, I have one more question, and here it is today. Do you believe that fairy tale creatures like unicorns and elves and gnomes could just possibly be extinct species?
Short answer, yes. Here's why.
Yeah, I was about to say, and what for the long answer?
Here's why. And not saying that they still don't exist, because, hey, they very well might. There's some fucked up shit on this earth that none of us have fucking seen, you know?
Yeah, that none of us have seen.
Yeah, I think, yeah, so I guess the longer answer would be, like, I don't know, man. I found some pretty weird, crazy shit in the back of my yard from only digging down a couple feet. So imagine if you dig down a couple 100 feet, the shit you find.
Oh, right.
And the shit we don't know about, you know? So, hey, man, I'm a firm believer of, if it took shape and form and it's become a thing in our minds, it was probably a thing in reality.
I dig that. No, I totally dig that, because that could be totally anything. I mean, dinosaurs to fucking dragons, you know, and why are they not the same thing?
Yeah, exactly. Like, my thing is, like, if someone had to dream it up, it was the way shit is passed down from, whatever, generation to generation, from, going back to cavemen to going back to whatever, if we were lizards.
And not only that,
or,
but think of things like, not necessarily adaptation, but evolution of life, where we have just changed as people the entire time, where we develop, freckles and shit like that we pass down, and we pass down hair color and eye color and shit like that, but yeah, who's to sit there and say that, that might be the explanation for certain, like, dwarfism or whatever it may be. I don't know if that's the correct term. I hate to be that way. If it is, okay. If not, I apologize for being, insensitive.
I just think that, like I said, if it's something that we talk about, whether it be dragons or whether it be whatever, like, chances are it probably fucking existed.
Yeah. I mean, even still, and think of it in like terms of like, not even just that, but like in terms of like Star Trek and Star Wars. Yeah. Who's to say that it doesn't exist somehow?
Exactly. And you know what? We live on this speck of fucking dirt and water, right? And there's a bunch of other specks of dirt and water out there that we don't even know about. So, man, who knows? There's probably some sort of being looking down at this planet, going like under a huge ass telescope, going like, man, y'all fucked up.
Like, yeah, right. It's like the fucking what George Carlin said. He's like, man will have his time, and then it'll shake us off like a bad case of fleas.
Exactly, man.
Dude, thank you so much for coming into the Metal Forge this week. This has been fucking awesome. Coming from practice where we kind of wrote a new song, and
right on. Congratulations.
Yeah, right. We're fucking 5 years in the running. No, no, not really. But and then having this awesome fucking interview too has been fucking cool. I'm ready to go have some fucking Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow and publish this in a week from now and kick ass, dude.
Right on, man.
On our way out today from No Devil Lived On, what are we going to play?
Let's do Shadow Chaser.
Ooh. You heard him. This is from Icarus Witch, Shadow Chaser. Yeah. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soulgrinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now. Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana is the premier 12,500 square foot music superstore that has served both southern Indiana and Louisville, Kentucky metro area for over 4 decades. Originally founded by Marvin and Beverly Maxwell in the 70s, this gym remains a Maxwell family-owned business. Mark Maxwell, along with his business partner Whitney McNichol, continued the reputation as being the national resource for all things music.
In 2022, the iconic Guitar Emporium of Louisville relocated to Maxwell's Music, creating the largest independently owned showroom in the region. The retail offerings at Maxwell's Music includes a huge selection of guitars, basses, amplifiers, effects pedals, modeling amps, keyboards, drums, banjos, mandolins, ukuleles, sound systems, stage lighting equipment, and accessories. The music education program at Maxwell's is second to none. From private instrument and voice lessons to DJ, EDM, recording, songwriting, and music theory, to rock school, weekend warriors, and Maxwell's Music Lab, there is something for every age and every ability level.
Down in Repairland, guitar and instrument repairs and refurbishment are taken care of by the Maxwell's team of expert guitar technicians and luthiers. They also do appraisals of instruments as well. Maxwell's offers installations for professional audio, visual, and lighting systems for schools, churches, clubs, VFWs, funeral homes, sports fields, and so much more. There's also rentable space at Maxwell's, from the music practice and rehearsal rooms for the individuals and bands, all the way to a meeting space and concert venue that seats up to 120. That also includes a professional audio, visual, and lighting system and a sound booth. Maxwell's has it all. All this plus original functioning 1947 recording booth to make your own record. Go to the Guitar Hero throne, to the very own Elvis statue, and don't forget the Harmony Green Pocket Park. There's a reason the Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana has been recognized by the National Association of Music Merchants as a #1 award-winning best store design, as well as top 100 music store year after year. You gotta see it to believe it. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana.